All right, go ahead and raise your hands, and I will get you the mic.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Why did you pull Kakuchi so hastily when he was actually looked to be getting stronger and had 2 out there and was clearly very upset when he was coming off the field?
Yeah, I mean, pitchers, they get upset. I know they're competitive. It was pitch count. You know, he was scuffling early with his command, I thought. Lineups are, the way they're constructed, too, against lefties and the options we have in the bullpen. You know, a lot goes into it, score, how the pitcher kind of arrived at that point. Hoping to be a little bit more efficient for him. You know, I get where every starter gets mad when they come out. You know, I think if it was lower pitch count, would have been a different story.
John, the early innings of you say looked a little bit like the bad innings last year, but then he made the adjustment. We didn't see as much. What was that adjustment? What helped him get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the adjustment was with his slider. That was his best pitch today, kind of going strike to ball. And when that was on, he was good. Fastball command was kind of hit and miss, and curveball and changeup is, kind of the same thing. So I think when he was getting better, it was better fastball command to go with the slider, but never really got the other 2 pitches going today.
And he's a guy who is getting into a bit of a bigger workload this year as well on that rotation. What do you think the keys are for him these coming weeks, getting back into that groove?
Yeah, I think it's just being a little bit more efficient. We kind of target pitch count and where we are in the order and things like that. And teams stack up a ton of righties against him. And I think with the way we're built, with the options that we do have, sometimes it's an early hook like today. But when he's efficient and getting quick outs and all of his pitches are working, I think that's when you see him going deeper in games.
Obviously, the added runs helped today, but just in all 3 of these games, you guys have basically been able to tack on a few kind of insurance runs at the end. What has that done for the team overall?
I mean, I think it gives them a lot of confidence. I thought our approach was great this whole series. Some tough pitching, and they made those guys work. And you get leverage dudes in late, back-to-back days, or 2 out of the 3 days, and guys had really good at bats. Bo with the homer. Jana with the double today. I just think it comes down to approach, when you can add on and, use the bullpen accordingly. But I think it just gives them a lot of confidence.
Knowing that, runners in scoring position, hitting with runners in scoring position is tough for you guys in the first half, is it especially encouraging to see now those runs, coming through?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you look at Vladdy's sac fly, right? Just a kind of a simple sac fly to give us the lead, and then really good at bat, from Witt, and then you get to Jano when he hits a splitter in the gap. It's just really good at bats, and we've been confident the whole time that you keep putting traffic out there, and the results are kind of turn a little bit, and I think this series they did.
John, the runs, as you just mentioned, certainly helped. But so weekend without Jordan Romano, and you had to elevate guys into sort of roles they're not usually in. How did you think you fared there, and what's the outlook for Jordan in the coming days?
Outlook for Jordy is good. We want to kind of use the off day tomorrow to our advantage a little bit with him, but he was feeling a lot better today than he did yesterday even. So saying that, I think guys like Nate, Jimmy, Mesa today, it was 1 out. It's against their best hitter. But those guys stepped up. Swanee today closing it out, and you can't really say enough good things about Trevor Richards too. So guys stepped up for sure. Jay Jackson kind of continues to quietly just get outs, which I think that he can do that at this level, really consistently. So other guys had to step up a little bit this series, and they did.
Jimmy seems to be finding his form a little bit right now. What do you feel is better for him than maybe earlier in the season?
I think fastball is good. I mean, his curveball slider, is always there. It's usually there early. I think his heater is playing, really well where it should in the zone. His changeup has been really good to lefties and righties. I'm not quite sure how Gurriel laid off a changeup after a couple nasty sinkers in, but he's kind of just getting a little bit more comfortable with his mix, and he's executing really well. I know his last, dozen or so outings have been really good.
Is there a status update on Gausman?
Yeah, feeling better. He threw today. We're still kind of taking it day by day to see where he fits into the rotation. We're going to go with Manoa Barrios Bassett for San Diego and kind of give Kev a little bit of a little extra rest. But he's doing better every day.
How big of a play was that Jano
Huge.
back pick?
Yeah, huge. I mean, Trev is kind of grinding a little bit. Him and Vladdy are really good at that. Timing, I think. Underrated part of that play is Vladdy's timing, I think. And when he does break to first base, they're aggressive with it. I know they did it a lot last year. Perfect time to do it. But it really kind of changed momentum there when Trev was, I think 23 pitches in that inning, whatever it was. Huge play in the game.
The past 2 seasons, you've come out of the All-Star break pretty hot as a team. Does a sweep out of the All-Star break set a tone for the second half or impact your second half in any way?
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to win every series. We've won a ton of series, compared to a lot of teams in the league. And I think a sweep against a really good team, who's fundamentally sound and doesn't give you many, many breaks. We took advantage of some this series against these guys, and I thought our at-bats were tremendous. But yeah, I think coming out of the chute like that after a little bit of a layoff, it's nice to, get 3 in your pocket and enjoy the off day tomorrow and keep rolling.
Just wondering how you balance the where to use Mesa today. Obviously it was for Carroll, and you want that, but with no Jordy, are you thinking maybe it might be better to wait till the 8th, or nobody on, 2 out? Is that it?
It's kind of a weird, pocket to fit him in. If it was a clean inning at Carroll down through McCarthy there, I think, you can probably use him at that 4-batter stretch and just absorb the righties. Timmy's been good against everybody. I think at that part of the game, when you look at the talent of Corbin Carroll, you want to really lock in that matchup. And then you trust Trev, probably getting some pinch hits too with left-handers off the bench. So wanted to get him in at Carroll for sure. And at the same time, not really overexpose him. So once he ended the inning, we figured that was good. And the lineup today was different with a lot of righties in compared to their, the previous 2 games. So, we wanted to lock in that matchup in particular, and that play from him, Timmy getting that ball against a guy that flies, and Vladdy, understanding to go back to the base. It's something you work on way back in February, and they executed it perfectly.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.